Fossil fuel companies can fund research like any other industry. You can have industry-sponsored research.
I think they're very heavily implicated. The funding of these companies, especially into climate policy research and climate change research, has so many implications.
There's a lot of research showing the influence of the fossil industry on university research and their findings.
It creates biased research. It means that the academic integrity of the research and the researchers is put into question, and these ties go very deeply.
Quite a bit of work is done by fossil entrenched organizations to not just fund research, but to affiliate with universities in such a way that they get social credit. So they sponsor events, scholarships, they do a lot to link their reputation with the reputation of major universities.
There's so many little avenues that this money comes into.
It can be straightforward to think about the major fossil fuel production companies, but it quickly gets quite complicated to think about all of the different organizations that are deeply affiliated and are actively working against climate action.
So divestment means that whatever the organization is would sell the stocks and bonds of companies that are engaged in a particular activity. Financial distancing, so that is beyond divestment. This is no longer about putting money into an account and hoping to earn profits from the returns, but this is basically stopping any sort of financial relationships with fossil fuel companies. And often what that means is you will simply stop accepting money. They like building these relationships because they get something out of it. And whatever that is, be it research, be it relationships to hire students, be it partnerships with faculty, you could consider that as a payment, if you want, from the university to these companies and organizations. And I guess the School of the Environment have basically said, we will not take your money because we do not believe that what you get in return is a reasonable relationship for us to have.
Steve Easterbrook, who's the director of the School of the Environment, is the man that we've been working with closely.
So the director is very much like a facilitator and a coordinator of events at the School of the Environment. So the director would very much be involved, but the director is a very, very collaborative decision maker. Nothing would get done without full input from anybody who wants to be heard. So there were many, many forums, many ways in which researchers could formally and informally express their opinions.
The leadership of a department took input from all of the faculty members and other members of the school.
It was really a joint effort among the professors who were leading it, as well as Steve, but I know there was a lot of collaboration and discussion within the school as to what the dimensions of this policy would be.
About how it could be done and where to draw the line, what counts as fossil fuel funding and what doesn't.
I can best liken it to sort of more of a consensus building exercise than a formal vote of raising your hands in some chamber.
The increasing number of divestment and dissociation declarations and commitments that we're seeing is the direct result of tireless effort by climate activists in staff, student, and faculty populations.
The people involved have generally been engaged with climate change either for their entire careers or easily for decades.
So I think it's very important that we as students know the role that we play within the university. Oftentimes, schools teach us who we should talk to if there's an issue, but we're not taught how we as students can actually make a change. We have that power.
What did end up coming out was not our original version. It got kind of not necessarily watered down, but it's a very refined version of what we were originally hoping to do, and that is the result of a lot of those intermediary processes.
That process has probably been going on for about a decade, I would think. But the actual formal push to disassociate research, I want to say maybe it took about a year or so.